From time to time, we hear that racism doesn't exist anymore, and we don't know why they're protesting in Ferguson and New York, etc. God, it's all Bill de Blasio's fault and Al Sharpton's fault and all these other people's faults. Yeah, or could it be that perhaps black Americans are used to cops in their neighborhoods intimidating them and discriminating against them? I know to some that seems like, oh, that's crazy. That couldn't possibly be true. Well, they're going to be interested to find out about some Fort Lauderdale cops who were found to be significantly racist, as you're about to see. NBC Miami reports the officers reportedly sent a trailer-style video amongst themselves containing a Ku Klux Klan hood, attacks against minorities, derogatory images of President Obama, and racist comments about Hispanics and homosexuals. Okay, well, I like that they didn't leave anybody out. Now, you got to understand, if you don't know about Fort Lauderdale, it's a metropolitan city. It's a large city, seems fairly open, has a large LGBT community, but apparently some of the cops are like, oh, those gays. It's obviously a huge Latino community. They don't like them either, let alone what they think about blacks, right? So now, luckily, these were discovered, and 4 of the cops have now been relieved of duty. They've been fired, okay? Now, if you think this is not enough, you go, oh, well, look, who doesn't have a KKK hood running around to make funny videos with? All right, well, I think I'm going to convince you with some of the text that they sent. Okay, now I'm going to say the N-word here throughout so you get a sense of what they were actually saying. Okay, we're not going to self-censor in a goofy way. So, in the quotes, quote, "We are coming and drinking all your beer and killing niggers." Okay, that seems fairly clear. Those are the cops. Then Fox 8 reports, in the text message exchanges, the former officers used racially derogatory terms to refer to the people they encountered while on duty, including racially insensitive material from the film Django Unchained, and talked about getting drunk and killing niggers, according to investigative documents. The men allegedly criticized co-workers, including African Americans, making crude comments about their grammar, appearance, and work ethic. One message referred to an entire shift as lazy fucks, the documents state. So it's not just the people that they're policing, it's their own colleagues. And ironically, of course, from time to time when people are caught, they'll turn around and go, what? No, we got black guys on the job. We're all brothers. No, we can't possibly be racist. The black guy walks out and they're like, get a load of that lazy nigger. And they're on the record. We now know it. This is exactly what they were saying. And get a load of these guys questioning the morality of those other black cops. How about your morality, you sons of bitches? You're still not convinced? I'll give you one last quote, and if you're not convinced after this, then you're probably a racist. Okay, so here's what they said. One of them says to the other, "I had a wet dream that you two found those niggers in the VW and gave them the death penalty right there on the spot." So when black communities complain that perhaps cops shoot a little too easily and a little too quickly, you think maybe they might have some validity? And these are not all the cops in Fort Lauderdale, they're not all the cops in the country. But do you get that some cops think this way? If you still live in La La Land and you think, no, all cops are angels and they came into this job just to do wonderful things and serve whatever community they happen to be in. I can't believe the civil rights protesters would impugn their motives. Understand that you might not deal with cops like this, but they deal with cops like this all the time. Even if they're a minority of the cops, at some point the chances are they'll run into a lot of the citizens. In fact, which community were these guys policing? Quote, "The officers worked in predominantly black neighborhoods." So they go in those neighborhoods with that attitude. Imagine the damage that they do. And then you wonder why that community and that neighborhood is worried about cops and worried about how they might be racist. Turns out, at least in this case, they were absolutely right.